So, but you know where I see the problem? First, I'm the first to agree with you that these are real achievements. We shouldn't make fun of them, like gay rights, feminism, even the way authority functions, and so on. But nonetheless, it fascinates me how, and again, I'm here referring vaguely, not only to them, to the famous book, The New Spirit of Capitalism by Luc Boltanski, and so on. How ideally May 68, that's for me a kind of Hegelian cunning of reason, helped to give a new push to capitalism. And I'm not saying this is bad, I'm just saying as a diagnosis. It's not only new freedoms, it's the entire new logic, I claim, of marketing.
When you say it's not bad, do you mean it?
Sorry?
You said it's not necessarily bad.
No, it's just a new phase. I mean, everything in the world, most of the things, okay, are bad and good. That's the paradox. But let me make a point that I want to make. The way, let me go here to the United States. How do we consume today when you have a commodity to buy? It's no longer the primitive level, buy this car because it's the best, uses less gasoline, whatever. It's also no longer the competitive logic of keeping up with the Joneses, like status symbol. Isn't it that today we are more and more addressed, even by publicity, as buy this car because, for example, it's a Land Rover, you can drive into nature, you can realize your authentic self, it's part of self-realization, and so on and so on. And let me go to the extreme here. This is why I find so problematic this all stuff with organic food and so on. Do you really believe that if you buy the apples, so-called organic apples, which are usually more rotten and cost half more, do you really believe that they are more healthy? No. It's also not competition, but it makes you feel well, you know, like, my God, I participate in something great. I'm not just a stupid consumer. I show solidarity with. It's the trap that I encounter here every day when I unfortunately have to go to Starbucks coffee. You know, like, practically they make you feel that with each cup of coffee you save some Guatemala kid from starvation or whatever. I mean, let's just be aware that's one dimension of 68, which, again, I sincerely mean that it's not bad, that it's not a priori bad. No, I think there are, how to put it, ethical awareness did grow up with this. I'm the first to admit it. All I'm saying is, as an old-fashioned half-Marxist pessimist, how should I put it? No, let's look what baggage comes with it. You know, for example, what do you think about, I want to ask you now a question, what I find dangerous with charity. Charity is in now. It's no longer as it was 100 years ago with Carnegie, some idiosyncratic guys. Today, everybody does charity. But what's the message we get? You see that poster everywhere, some deformed black child, and then for a price of one cappuccino, you can save his life, whatever. The message, I think, if you read it between the lines, it's pretty cynical one, is pay a little bit and it will make you feel better and you don't have to worry about it and you don't have to politicize it and so on and so on. I think that charity, no wonder Bill Gates likes it today. No wonder that, did you notice something, that a certain rhetoric, which 20 years ago when we were young, was the rhetoric of the left, saying to us who live in relatively comfortable lives, are we aware that we live in ivory tower and out there people are starving? Today, the mainstream is saying this all the time. It's one way to depoliticize us. My idea is that today's ideology is the ideology of depoliticization. We are no longer predominantly addressed as sacrifice, except for strange countries, strange parties where you see the poster, our country first, but that's another thing. It's no longer sacrifice yourself. How are we today addressed by a society to be what we are? Isn't the main address kind of a spiritualized Orientalism, like be truly yourself, realize your potentials, and so on, and all that stuff. And I think this legacy of 68 I find problematic, which is why, let me find a further contact with you, and I will stop now and return a question to you. I hope we share another point, which is, to be brutal, hatred of Emir Kusturica. We do agree here. Underground, I think, is one of the most horrible films that I've seen. Because it's as if this poem that I quoted was set to film there. What kind of society you see, Yugoslav society in Kusturica's Underground? A society where people all the time fornicate, drink, fight, a kind of eternal orgy. And here, what you referred to as this eternal youth, excessive energy. One path, I'm not saying the only one path leads to Radovan Karadzic, I claim. I claim that the duty, moral duty today, I'm maybe in a different way a moralist like you. The moral duty today is precisely to problematize this, how should I call it, carnivalesque transgressive model. Order is bad, let's suspend the rules, let's have a free access and so on. Do you know a detail which maybe will interest you? You know, he's more popular in France than here, how's the guy called, sorry, Mikhail Bakhtin, the great author of Theory of Carnival. You know that a Russian friend told me that now they discovered some private papers from the 30s when he was writing his book on François Rabelais. And you know what was his model of Carnival? Stalinist purges. That's the true Carnival. Today you are a member of Central Committee, tomorrow you are English spy, piece of shit, and so on. So I claim that there also is a legacy of, we have to see 68 in all its ambiguity. Strike back. Strike back. Strike back.